It's now time to get into some NBA talk, and we're probably just going to skim through this stuff. As LeBron James became the first player on March 2nd to score 40,000 points in a career, but he did it in with a 26-point game. That was a 10-point loss with the score of 124 to 114 to the Denver Nuggets. Russell Westbrook, who fractured his hand on Monday, has some good news of potentially having hope before the start of the Western Conference playoffs in April, as he underwent surgery on his fractured left hand on Monday. And the team, the Clippers, have described his status as week to week. We're going to get into some quick Raptors talk, as Scotty Barnes, who fractured his third metacarpal bone on his left hand, had surgery to repair this fracture on Monday. And the All-Star forward, with this happening, the reason he had this fracture was because he broke his middle finger on his hand when it hit the rim while trying to block a shot. Less than 2 minutes left in the first half of a home loss last Friday to the Golden State Warriors. Fortunately for them, the question that remains is that after the team had announced that he'll be out indefinitely, how does this impact the Raptors? Honestly, it won't really have much of an impact because he made the All-Star team, but at the same time, they're out of the play-in tournament, so at best they'll probably be the 9th or 10th seed even without him. If that were to be the case, the ceiling would be getting the play-in spot, but past that, they're not making the playoffs, so it won't matter. And it's funny that I mentioned that it won't matter, as the Toronto native, or the Canada's own, Kelly Olynyk, is agreeing to stay with the Raptors, as he has agreed to a 2-year, $26.25 million contract extension after being traded away from the Jazz. So we're going to go ahead and move into some Timberwolves talk, real quickly, as for unfortunate news for the Minnesota Timberwolves, as Karl Anthony Towns is expected to be out indefinitely with a torn meniscus, which is not great to hear for the Timberwolves, but they don't have too much to worry about, as they do have Anthony Edwards, they do have Rudy Gobert, but they're like the top of the West, so I don't think it really matters at this point. I kind of wish I read this a little more and thought about it, but I just thought, it probably won't matter. You got all these guys, but yeah, there's a chance it might have an impact on it, but I can't guarantee it. I want to say that it will, but I can't guarantee it will or won't. As Towns made his fourth All-Star team last month, putting up averages of 22.1 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. The Timberwolves are on pace for their second-best season in franchise history at 43-19 and are tied with the Thunder for the top seed in the Western Conference. Towns' absence will almost certainly send them down, plummeting the standings, as the Timberwolves, Thunder, Nuggets, and Clippers are all within 2.5 games of each other while vying for the top 4 spots in the West. And it has been made clear that Minnesota is clear number 4 in those rankings without Towns. Unfortunately for them, even with Anthony Edwards and Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert leading the helm without Towns, the Wolves will not have that offensive firepower that they've had all season without Towns. So only time will tell to see how the offense will work and how far they'll get without their star center. Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers is expected to be out for an extended time due to a sprained ankle injury, as the big man reportedly expected to miss extended time after Tuesday's win over the Boston Celtics, where he suffered a sprained ankle in the game. Shams Charania, Joe Varden, and Jason Lloyd of The Athletic reported Mobley is dealing with significant swelling and is without a timeline to return, as Mobley turned his ankle after dunking the ball in the third quarter of the 105-104 victory over that. But unfortunately for the Cavs, this is not making their situation to have basically a solid or confident playoff spot, as they're already without Donovan Mitchell and Max Strus, the guy who hit a game winner on the Mavericks. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they're going to be able to play without their main big man and two of their high caliber players. Well, high caliber players in Mobley and without Mitchell and Mobley, as well as a big role piece, big I guess role piece or big like I guess role player in Max Strus. And one final thing before we move on to some MLB talk. Um, sorry. Patty Mills, who was released and waived by the Hawks earlier this week, is heading to the Heat, to Miami, and is planning to sign a Heat contract with the team, as they are planning to add him to the Heat, as they are doing this in the wake of mitigating the absence of starting guard Tyler Herro, who's been out February 23rd with a knee injury, without veteran guard Josh Richardson since February 11th due to a shoulder injury.